All right, Matt, here, I mean, we were just saying that the bigger impact was in Tennessee.
Yeah, they got slammed over the weekend. You know, it actually wasn't remnants of Fred. It was a separate system. I mean, there's lingering moisture, but they had repeated rain over the same area, which, I mean, we've had training thunderstorms. They just had it all night into the morning hours over the weekend, and incredible. I mean, 17 inches. Yeah. We get 2 or 3, we had that
and
flooding.
And the flash floods, too. I mean, with Henri, those in the Northeast had days in advance.
Right, and everything was already saturated going into that as well. Yeah, it was definitely a tricky situation down in Tennessee. So thoughts with them. We fall in a nice place on the weather map, relatively speaking. I mean, it is warm outside, but it could be a lot worse. So here's the latest on Tropical Storm Henri. Still a tropical storm, now inland. It's lost its food, so to speak, that warm ocean water. You can see winds at 40 miles per hour. Still gusts to 60 in here. Wind, not really the big story. It's rain and a storm surge. You can see some of that moisture making its way into central areas of Pennsylvania as well. Wider view of it, you can see much of New England dealing with heavier rainfall. So where's Henri go? It's heading our way, right? But look what happens. Little about face here heading over the next 2 days back out to sea. That'll be no impact to us locally. The reason why, we've got a frontal boundary that'll kind of kick Henri out. Bigger picture here, we've got all sorts of flooding. I mentioned that's the biggest problem from here on out. You can see the flood warnings that you have in the brighter shades, and then you have the flood watches that are ongoing. In terms of wind, there still is some wind with this. They have had power outages because of all the saturated ground. Those trees get loose, right? The roots don't take a lot of wind to really knock down. So you can see the center circulation there heading over areas of western Connecticut. But far away from us, there's really no windshield or no wind field whatsoever to deal with here. We're kind of shielded here in Ohio with that frontal boundary pushing in. So bigger picture, general low pressure across the eastern half of the country. This is what caused the Tennessee flooding. Some of the lingering moisture on this just going over repeated areas just west of Nashville. That's now down to the south, that disturbance. Off towards our west, you can see a pretty vigorous system heading up into the Dakotas. This is going to miss us and head up into Canada. And what we'll see impact-wise from this system is it's going to drag this heat down in Texas up our way. So we've got a hot week ahead. I think we'll have at least 2 90s on the board this week as this heat expands into areas of the Ohio Valley and the Tennessee Valley. But Henri, I mentioned coming our way, right? There's a little subtle frontal boundary here off towards the west. There's not much left with this. Has kicked off a few showers and thunderstorms. This will push through tonight and basically push Henri out to sea. But we've been dealing with just some isolated showers and storms earlier today. You can see some pretty heavier downpours with some of that moisture coming down to the south. Not expecting anything widespread tonight or tomorrow in terms of rainfall, but with the lingering moisture, can't rule out an isolated storm. National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast. Let's plan out the start to your work week. It will be mostly clear to start your Monday. You can see we may have some areas of fog with some of that moisture in the ground. A lot of us dry, though, so not really contending with that. And you can see as we go throughout the day tomorrow, as that frontal boundary, the little engine that could pushes through northeast Ohio, we may kick off maybe 1 or 2 showers. That's about it. I think the bulk of the day will be mostly sunny and dry. Very comparable temperatures to where we were today in the mid, even upper 80s in spots. A warm night tomorrow night. Tuesday, we start to bring in that heat down from the south. So you see temperatures, we've got a couple 90s on the board. We will have a nice little lake breeze for our lakeshore communities. Other than that, we're talking heat. Tuesday, Wednesday, I've got us in the 90s. A little bit cooler Thursday, Friday, but that's going to come with some mugginess. And I knocked down temps because we're going to have storm chances around. The bigger picture, you can see Henri finally kicking out over the next couple days. Here comes our next weather player. I think our next real good shot at rain will be Wednesday, as we are in the northern periphery of a boundary. We're all familiar with that, with those rounds of storms that we'll be dealing with. Humidity not going anywhere anytime soon as it looks right now. Maybe beyond that. We'll have details tonight at 11 o'clock with our 10-day forecast. 7-day, though, keeps the heat and humidity around. You can see pretty dry next 2 days. There's our storm chances. I think Beck's storm chances will be Wednesday and Friday around here. Weekend, we'll be tracking them as well. We'll be back with Nick Camino and the Browns after this.